It's no secret. It's happening right before our eyes. The reality is, in many workplaces across Nigeria, safety takes a back seat, if it's considered at all. From construction sites without helmet and the standard safety gear, to offices where faulty wiring hangs like a trap, and to hospitals stretched thin without enough protection for workers, hazards are hiding in plain sight. Today, April 28, the world marks the International Day for Safety and Health at Work. The theme? Revolutionizing health and safety, the role of AI and digitalization at work, which aims to highlight the transformative impact of emerging technologies on occupational safety and health, OSH. But here at home, how many employers are truly stepping up? And how many workers even know what protection they are entitled to? Think about it. Nigeria's workforce is its engine. If workers are unsafe, the engine stutters. If workers fall sick or get injured, the economy pays the price. Is it a question of costs or a culture that sees accidents as normal? Who bears the responsibility? The government, the employers, or the workers themselves? Tonight, we dig deeper into Nigeria's workplace safety and culture. The good, the bad, and the urgent changes needed to protect lives. Thanks for joining us on Nigeria Today. I'm Victoria Clinton. Now, joining me in the studio for the conversation is Engineer John Obajimi. He's the National President of the National Industrial Safety Council of Nigeria. Thanks for joining us on Nigeria Today.
It's a pleasure, Hanko.
Also with us is Bukola Fumilayo Shafe. She is the Principal Manager, Health, Safety and Environment Department of the Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund, NSITF, headquarters here in Abuja. It's good to have you on Nigeria Today.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine.
So I will start with the question asked earlier on. You know, is it a question of costs or culture that sees, accidents as normal in our places of work? I'll start with you, Bukola. Ladies first here.
Thank you. The question, why accident seems normal in our society today, basically is because of lack of awareness. Most people are not informed. The truth is that the cost implication is high, and also the way this situation affects the culture, or is a cultural inbuilt lack of awareness has made it a form of culture for most Nigerian workers, because they're not even aware of their own right, basic rights in the workplace. The right to be safe, the right to work safe, the right to ensure that they return to their family in good health. So it's a lack of awareness that has really created this great confusion in knowing if it is a cost or a culture thing. Thank you.
Okay, so Engineer Bachimi, I also want you to add your voice to that question. Is it a question of cost? Is it culture that makes us see accidents as normal?
Well, it is a combination. Combination in the sense that, like she said, many people are struggling to find ends meet. And many people are struggling to put a plate of food on the table. And while doing that, they seem to lose their mind as regards the safety going back up. So just like, I give you a typical example. You see a taxi driver driving on the road, is driving to beat every other car on the road, not minding his own safety, because the target is just to make that daily income. So it's the same that cuts across in so many other sectors. So everybody's struggling one way or the other. So that answered the issue of the cost. So it is the money, and also then like he said also is a summary, the lack of understanding that one life is too important to waste. Lack of understanding in the sense that you go leave your house to go and look for what to eat or what to bring home. You are expected to come back home safely, safe and sound. So any accidents along the way will not only affect you, but it will affect your entire family. The same family you are struggling to feed, you will put them in trouble. So it's all about understanding. So both cost and culture. And we live in a society whereby everybody seems to kind of be a government of their own. So that's aspect of the culture. So and the government needs to do more awareness. Government is doing a lot when it comes to creation of awareness. NISCN to National Industrial Safety Council of Nigeria champions all advocacy on safety and health in Nigeria. So we need more to do more in terms of awareness.
Now, let's talk about the day proper. We're talking about a World Day for Safety and Health at Work. What is the significance of this day for Nigeria?
Okay, the significance for celebrating the World Day for Safety and Health primarily is to foster safety culture in Nigeria and also to promote prevention of workplace accidents in workplaces. And you do this by creating more awareness, raising awareness to the public, to all Nigerian workers, to have information on basic safety standard rules in the workplace. You encourage positive safety culture. And this significance is so important that NSITF is the Social Security Institute that has been saddled with the responsibility to implement the mandates of the Employee Compensation Act 2010. And this act repeals the former the Workmen's Compensation Act of 2004, in which it ensures, NSITF ensures it makes provision for prevention in the workplaces. And in the event of an accident, it helps to rehabilitate such injured workers back to their work, which is called return to work. And in the case of disability, there's what we call compensation. NSITF pays compensation to this disabled worker to make up for the loss of not being able to work maximally. And in case of death, the spouses and the children of this particular late employee, they are covered with some compensation. Thank you.
Okay, now back to you, Engineer Obajimi. We've seen cases where workers will fall sick, and when they want to excuse themselves, they say, there's nobody to take over your job. You don't have somebody to cover for you. In situations like that, what should this person do? Because the person is afraid to lose her job, so they remain there, even though they know they are really not healthy.
If the person is afraid to lose their job, I think the person should be more afraid to lose his life or to lose her life. So that should be the most important thing, because it is somebody who is alive that works and earn a living. The truth of the matter is that if you drop dead right now, or you are incapacitated right now, the next second somebody else fills the space. No vacuum. So when you understand that concept that your life is far more important than the work, then you will understand that you should, like she mentioned, it is your right to be protected. And I go back to today being the World Day for Safety which was established by International Labour Organization, ILO, the agency of the United Nations that is in charge of workers, everything about workers, policy, regulation, safety, and compensation, and all remuneration, and all of that. From 1990, when the ILO has started operation regulating the workers, one of the first things they did is to put that protection of life as very important. So then in 2020, ILO now makes health and safety at work as a fundamental principle. So it becomes a fundamental right. So it is your right to demand that I want to stay alive by telling the boss politely, if there is a need to show evidence that I need to save my life first. So nobody, people may not give you a right, but you have the right to demand your rights and stay by it. Thank you.
All right. Now, of course, we've heard from our experts in the studio about what about the average Nigerian. Now we'll go hit the street to hear what people have to say about safety in their workplaces. Turn it away.
In anything you do in life, your safety comes first. Salary comes second, or any other thing.
I think measures should be put in place to make workers more comfortable in any working environment they find themselves, so they'll be safe. Because safety doesn't necessarily mean that physical safety, the mental health matters a lot. When your workers are not mentally stable, they tend not to deliver their best. So when you make them safe in their work environment, mentally, physically, and otherwise, they will feel safe and they will deliver their best for you.
What I think should change in my workplace is my attitude to work. I'm sorry, I have to say it. At times, I might not meet up to the expectations that my boss expects me to. I think it should start with me.
You talk about workers, for example, who are site workers. The safety equipment, talking about the boot they wear, the helmet, and all that. Most of those employers do not provide for them, which is a problem. And if you talk of government workers, for example, you need clinics at least in your workplace. In case of any eventuality, you can be able to rush in, and a lot of these workplaces do not have such clinics.
I hope government will take some of these recommendations and implement.
My workplace is safe because we do HSE. That's health, safety, and environment. They provide for us. I'm an EFE engineer, so we provide for safety gadgets like your helmets, glove, and it's quite safe.
Welcome back. We've heard from Nigerians. We've had them express their concerns. But the question is, how can we turn these concerns into action? And of course, this is still Nigeria Today, and we're talking about safety and health at workplace. And of course, I have two experts here in the studio, a gentleman and a lady. Now, because I had a reaction of people there. Now, I just wanted to react. One of them said, okay, it's safety first before the salary. But we see salary coming first before even safety.
Yes, thank you. The person that actually said safety first before salary is true. But unfortunately, due to the economic hardship, and the demands of trying to meet up with the financial cost for maintenance has made it in such a way that a lot of people just rush trying to get the money, trying to meet up with targets, to get paid, without really considering their action or their own safety. Just as I said earlier on, the key thing is lack of awareness. There's this lack of awareness inadequate supervision in the workplace, and also there's no enforcement of some sort of sanctions when some of the safety rules are being ignored. And that has really made people just to, be complacent about their job and trying to meet up with targets and get more money so that they can sustain their family and meet up with the economic responsibilities that has been placed on them.
Okay, Engineer, thank you. Engineer Obajimi, you, of course, you definitely heard what people have to say there. But again, just like Bukola had mentioned here, you have to talk about your safety first, your health first, before you talk about the money. But we know now in most of the cases it's not really like that. Now, what are some of the common risks that Nigerian workers face today across all sectors, and how can we address them?
Okay, common risks. Okay, let me start with the last one, with the those that we may not take as serious, but they are very serious. Pranks. Those people do skit makers. They go to places, prank people in such a way that you see people scampering for their lives. Then later they will say, "Oh, it was a prank." When somebody has already has already fallen down, hit his head on something. These are risky. And sometimes they even go to the markets and do some of this. We have to say no. It is time for us to rise up and say no to unsafe acts of these skit makers that are creating unsafe conditions for the people. It is a great risk, and it's a new dimension that we need to address. Now, another one that the NICN is trying to champion now is we are trying to champion the religious safety, because now we've discovered that in most worship centers there is total disregard for health and safety. Go to churches, go to mosques, you will really see fire extinguishers there in case of fire. And even if there is maybe they bought it 10 years ago, 5 years ago, it has never been serviced. Nobody is trained to handle them. Recently, you have been seeing recurrent cases of people fall and die on the altar. People will just slump and just die. So why not we create health and safety units in churches? So that recently, Otumba Ezil Akinile or something, when his wife was celebrating 68th birthday, during the Thanksgiving service on Sunday, he just slumped there and just died. So a little CPR, a little first aid, CPR could have sustained his life while they go to. So these are common. These are areas we are trying to we are trying to look at now from the point of NICN. Even the people into the entertainment industries. So we are also trying to expand advocacy to their area so that we can be able to guide them on safety. And as on the question you ask, what do we do? Like what NICN is doing recently, I sent a message to PFN presidents. I equally initiated discussion with the Secretary of Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs, because these are apex religious organization. We are looking at meeting with the current president and all of that, so that we from their national headquarters we handle this matter so that it can trickle down to the society. And for lastly, on the question of hazards, we have electrical hazards. A lot of people can get shocked, people can get electrocuted. That's electrical hazard. But I know that NEMSA, Nigeria Electricity Management Service Agency, is doing a lot in creating awareness, enforcing safety standard, and doing public awareness to enforce the answers. They have been doing that. You see some kind of consistent reduction. Now you have chemical hazards. You have chemical hazards. And I give you an example. I went to a bank in around Jabi recently, and I saw the battery banks, maybe about 20 or 30. The staff are working just behind the battery. And what that means, they are exposed to mercury, zinc, lead, or thereabout. So over time, I have to educate them about this thing that you are doing. Over time, you will inhale this thing, you get to a level of concentration that it will harm your liver, harm your, you will not feel it immediately.
What of the kidney?
The kidney, everything, heart, everything. So, but unfortunately, people like that may not actually know that they got the sickness from their office. And that is why ILO says that globally, every year, there are about 395 cases of diseases that people contract during their work. So these are cases, these are things that we need to look at before you even talk of road safety accidents, before you talk of even food accident and all of that.
Thank you very much.
The list is inexhaustible.
Thank you, Bajimi. I know if I allow you, you have more to say. But let Bukola say something here. Bukola, earlier on you talked about people being aware of their rights and all of that. So what should they be aware of? Because some persons, like you said, they really don't know. Even the educated ones, they don't know. They don't really know that okay, this is what I should do or what I should know about before I even press for because before you go to seek or ask for your right, you should know your right first.
Yes, the Nigerian workers should try to know that safety is key in all they do, and they have the right to know the hazards that are inherent in their jobs. Each worker has a right to know the different hazards present in the job he or she is to carry out. And once you know the hazard, you will know the best way to carry out the job to minimize the risks that it will pose. And you see, that is why NSITF has been able to provide a major key services in the preventative, which is the preventative. We go to organizations, giving them proactive measures through conducting audits and risk assessment, in which we identify the gaps, the safety gaps in their job processes, in their environment. Thereafter, we try to give them corrective measures and recommendations to correct those defects and how best to work to minimize accidents. Also, NSITF conducts accident investigation. Once we go out to organizations, we are not a fault-finding organization.
Okay.
We are fact-finding. When we go there, we try to know the root cause of such accidents so that we can mitigate its reoccurrence again.
And okay, you also push for the compensation, right?
Yes. In case of accident, just as I said earlier on, there's what we call the second key services. The first is the preventative, then the second is the rehabilitation, in which the employer is to take care of the injured employee in case of an accident. And once the employer does that, because of the immediate attention, NSITF gives what is called the medical expense refund, in which all bills that have been paid on the injured employer to treat the injured employee will be funded. Also, there's what we call loss of productivity. When an employee is sick, is off work for some days.
Okay.
So NSITF tries to pay for those days which the employee has misses the work.
Thank you very much. I just want Engineer Bajimi to just, in 30 seconds. So, sometimes you see, like you said, some of them were exposed to some kind of, unsafe environment. At the end of the day, they come down with some illness. And they will tell them, okay, go and take care of yourself. The much they can do for them is, okay, give the person some days off, but you pay the expenses. So what should you do in that circumstance? In 30 seconds. Okay,
I may take more than 30 seconds. Well, the first thing you need to understand is that in the National Policy on Occupational Safety and Health, which was revised by the Federal Ministry of Labour in 2020, there are responsibilities of the employer and responsibility of the staff. Responsibility of employer is to develop develop a safety policy that guides the work. Then safety rules and provide PPEs and the rest of them. Now for the staff, for the employee, you are to ensure that you work based on those safety rules and the safety rules, and also use the PPE or whatever material. But you can approach Federal Ministry of Labour if you are injured and the organization refuses to pay.
Thank you very much. I'll have to stop you there because really, this is where we wrap it up on today's episode of Nigeria Today. Very big thank you to Engineer John Ovajimi, National President of the National Industrial Safety Council of Nigeria. Thank you so much for coming on the program and sharing your perspective. And also Bukola Fumilayo Aroshafe, the Principal Manager, Health, Safety and Environment Department of the Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund, NSITF headquarters here in Abuja. Thank you so much
for having me. Thank you.
And thank you for being part of the program. I'm Ikaria Clinton. Goodbye.